Oh God, I'm so excited to be here. And today is a phenomenal, amazing day. Phenomenal, amazing day because I get to speak to MisRed. Yes, I do. Welcome to yet another exciting interview I have to talk about this book that I wrote and explain to my son and his friends and all the peers out there, my peers, myself included, of how the 40+1 lessons of life and success can happen, do happen, why they should happen, and of course why you should enjoy them while they happen. And today I'm talking to MisRed, and I know she is on drive time, or she just left drive time, just so she could make sure we talk to her. But MisRed, for me, I've known her since our days at ZFM. I've loved her energy, her exposure, how she's traveled the world and changed the game simply by doing that. So today I am excited. Each week I just speak to amazing people who break barriers, change the game, and make sure that we all dream harder, wish harder, and of course get excited harder. I'm waiting for MisRed and all her fans to join today. And of course mine who are loyal and are here every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for coming in. And we've been doing this for over 15 weeks. But you can go into my page and check who I've been talking to and the people who I have shared the story with. And I am so excited that you continuously come and have this conversation. And today, like every other day, we pick a lesson from the book. And the book is found on Kindle, link on LinkedIn. On Kindle, you go to Amazon, type Tendai Garwe, you find it right there. And if for those that like hard copies, if you're in South Africa, my sister Chipo Garwe at the Real Miss Chips on Instagram, you can order from her. She'll make sure you get a copy. If you are in Zimbabwe, in Harare or Bulawayo, you can also get in touch with me and I'll make sure you get your copy. If you are in the US, end of May, beginning of June, you will definitely have copies. My friend Tatenda will be coming to get copies so that those that are in the US can also access the book. This book is a conversation starter. It's for you and your kids, you and your friends. And of course, you can definitely grow and learn from it. So I'm excited to wait. I'm going to wait for MisRed. She's setting herself up. While we wait for Red, who also has a short time with us, so I'll maximize on reading the book so that the 30 minutes I have with her will be 30 minutes because she still has to do her duties and make sure the kids have done their homework and tucked in. So lesson 18, travel the world and get exposure. Travel the world, my son. Make it a priority. There's no better exposure that you get than when you travel. I remember taking you to Zambia, South Africa, and places in Zimbabwe like the Eastern Highlands, Kariba, and Victoria Falls. The idea was to expose you to different places and people because this has the potential to make you dream bigger. Traveling makes you realize that there's more to life than what meets the eye. That's why one of the things that I intend to do, and then COVID made it go south, is visit Australia and of course hand you the very first copy. I still have the very first copy of this book. I'm really excited about that prospect because it will expose my own travel and exposure. Traveling breaks limitations. It extends your creativity and you embrace diversity. That is the reason why people travel. People don't travel not only outside the country but within Zimbabwe. It's not even just within Zimbabwe. If you stay in the avenues along 6th, go to 8th, there's a different lifestyle. There's a whole different era that's happening, and not era, a whole different experience that's happening along that road. If you go to the next road, there's something that's happening that's going on there. And I hope you can hear me. I hope people can hear me clearly. If you can, depend on my love, Apple. While we wait for MisRed. I'm so excited. I don't know why my heart is beating. I mean, she's an incredible force. You are seeing two people right now. By the time she gets here, there she is. They're going to be like 150 people. So the reason I'm talking to Red is an amazing young woman who has traveled, and her her world horizon influence happened because she broke the barrier of being limited to Zimbabwe, like what most of us had become as Zimbabwean personalities. We were not expanding ourselves into the region and the world, but Red took it out, and traveling broke her limits, expanded her creativity, and brought diversity and swag to who she is and the woman she has become now. And I'm going to ask her to join the live. My hands are sweaty. My hands are sweaty because I'm so excited. Whew. I'm all red.
What up, queen?
Girl, when did you start wearing glasses?
You know what? I've always worn glasses. I don't know if you remember, because you've known me for a long time. Like in 20...
Yeah.
I started wearing them in 2011. But you know, like, sometimes swagger you do and so Buddha. But I'm genuinely a very short-sighted lady.
You're like me, and I'm so honored. I was telling people before you joined that, I don't know, this is the first interview that my heart is beating, my hands are sweaty, and I am talking to a queen. I'm humbled.
Thank you for having me on. I think you are one of the voices of our generation that is not celebrated enough, and I'm so thankful to know you. I'm thankful to have experienced you, and I'm thankful to learn from you at everything. I think your story is so deep. A lot of people may not know the layers to your story, but if we talk about the triumphs that you've gone through and still come up tops and just shown us that, man, I can still do this. It's my honor to be on your platform.
You know, I was gonna catch you, but I was like, let me suck in. It's the new moon, it's a super moon, so I'm sucking in all the love. But Red, you do know, coming to talk to me is the greatest honor. This has never happened, whether on air, off air. This is the first time that you and I are having a conversation about you and your brilliance. And I was telling people that I'm one of my numbers. When Red arrives, my numbers, because you are a force, girl. You're a force, and I'm in awe of the woman you've just changed everything. You changed the game, and if people don't acknowledge you for that, they are jealous. They should acknowledge it and realize that you win. So let's start from the very beginning, because I know I've got a very short time with you. Red, who are you? Where are you from? What are you about?
MisRed is a media personality, predominantly on radio in Zimbabwe. But I think we reach a global audience. So I work for a radio station called ZFM Stereo. That was the beginning of my media career. And I love it because, you know, it's allowed me to grow in the different facets of my life. So it's not just now on radio, now television, and not just Zimbabwe television, but it's now regional television, which I'm very proud of, because it's been a journey that a lot of people may not acknowledge, but it's been something that I can proudly say that I did it. And it took me time, but I'm there now. So I'm a multimedia personality, not only on radio and television, but I'm also a personality on social media. Hence why there's a lot of people who always so yeah, that's why.
Red, do you know people don't know that people don't know that you were rejected at Star FM? I love that story. Tell them about it.
So I was looking for a job in Zimbabwe. I was still staying in Pretoria at the time, and I had a daughter who was in Zimbabwe, and I needed every reason. I had to drop out of school because my parents couldn't afford. So I had to come back. So I started so at the call center, some guy, he's like, I like your voice. I thought he was actually like chuffing me, right? So I was like, bruh. And then next thing he's like, no, I'm serious. And then he calls my supervisor and says, come through. We're going to do some voiceovers. So he then told me, like, your voice could actually work for radio. Why don't you try radio? And at the time, being as South Africa, there was really no opportunities available for a Zimbabwean in South Africa who is uneducated. So I then apply back home. And that was the time that radio stations were now opening up in Zimbabwe. So I was really excited about that. And then I sent through my, my demo tapes to everybody. Everybody was like, nope, Comfort Bofana. And you always repeat this. And Comfort was like, no, you're not really our, you don't really radio per se, but I don't know, maybe you can try something else, Even I opened my own show at my radio station. He was like, maybe TV. I don't know about radio, but
What?
was rejected by both Star FM and ZFM. And then, as luck would have it, they were looking for a replacement for Tino Pona Katsande, who's an
Sunday,
amazing.
Absolutely.
And when they were looking for that replacement, they couldn't find one. So my demo was amongst the music CDs. So they were just listening through they do at radio stations, they have listening sessions. So they saw my CD, they started playing it. They're like, wait a minute, this is the demo for a radio person.
And then
and it's like, guys, you've been looking for a radio presenter to replace Tino. Try this girl. So he ran downstairs from upstairs, and then he ran and gave Tony Friday, who was the on-air manager at the time. And TK was in the room with him. So Tony Friday, remember, he had also rejected me. But then TK, okay, let's listen to this girl. And they listened to me and they're like, but we can work with her. So let's give her a try. And at that moment, that's when they called me, and the rest is history.
The rest is history, Red. And you took over breakfast. Now you have dominated drive time, and you've grown. I mean, I've literally seen you grow from just MisRed to be MisRed, like, you know. And where did MisRed come from? Why I MisRed?
So it's a two-part story. Hey, I'm going to talk a lot today. So MisRed was a nickname that I was given when I used to hang out with like a bunch of musicians. I came back from South Africa, and I used to have a unique stain of red lipstick at the time, which was Ruby Woo. Now it's just common, it's popular. But at the time, it's like no one else was wearing it, so I used to wear it. So one day I just went to hang out with my friends, and I didn't have it on. So people were like, MisRed, where's your red lipstick? And then someone else like, I'm MisRed, she's MisRed, you know, and it just stuck from there. So, and this was before I even thought of radio. And then when I decided to go on radio, I didn't want to use my name because I had drama back in the day. So I was like, no, I'm not going to use it. People know who I am.
Right.
So, yeah, I picked up that name and used it.
Because I thought it was coming from MisRed, like people misread you or misunderstood you or missed something, like they missed something.
It became that over time, but the truth of the matter is it really initially came from the color red. So I think I'm also adopting the color. I'm going back to because you know how words have so much power. So I feel like also having connected the has kind of gotten me misunderstood so many times that, you know, I think that the name is kind of haunting me. So I'm kind of going back slowly to, you know, which is the color.
Of course, red is the thing. Yeah, red is I completely acknowledge that. But Red, you see, what I love about you is you got onto radio, then you went on to television. Not that, was it hard? Was it easy? What happened to the transition? How did you make it to television? Because, I mean, doors were closed, then they just opened. How did you make it TV?
So I was headhunted. I didn't look for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the team at Coca-Cola, they were bringing back Coke on the Beat. So they bunch of us, and you know, they're like, okay, guys, come for audition. So I literally, my CEO at the time at ZFM, my Makuri, was like, these guys are looking for you. Just call them and find out what they want. And then they're like, can you come for it? I was like, what's the word happen? And then I went, and I got onto my first television show, which was Coke on the Beat, which I absolutely loved. We were a lot of us at the time, but it was because I grew up watching it. So I was really honored been selected as, you know, part of the team that brought it back at the time when it came back.
So it was just an audition. So you just were not handed things. You actually had to work hard for whatever it is that you got to the point of the person that you are today. Yeah.
I also don't really come from a well-up family. So I literally had to. So I think radio definitely did give me a platform to be able to speak and to be able to be seen. But however, it wasn't like people were like calling me left, right, and center, just come. No, I had to go through auditions for most of the things.
Okay, now that we've played.
Even when I started doing work for Viacom, MTV, I didn't just get called. was like, I'd love to work for MTV, like a joke. And then I started making calls to people that I knew who were well connected within those circles. And then they would lead me to the next person, until I started getting correspondency gigs. And basically, that's how it happened.
Red, now that we've finished playing humble and knowing about all the things that some people don't know, because some people think, either you got handed to, or it's
Or,
not there. It's actually zero effort to what you're doing.
yeah.
So let's get into it. So, how did you break out of Zimbabwe straight into international and regional? Outside you calling people, you ending up with a whole team, because MisRed comes with a whole team. When I said, MisRed, can I have your pictures? She sent me a Google Drive, guys, a whole Google Drive, a media pack. And I was like, Jesus, I need to up my game, because I was just like, hey, yo. So how did you, what is it? Because we're talking about traveling the world and getting exposure. So how did
Yeah.
you know, or how did you change the game to say, this is where I'm now going and what I want to do?
I had to travel. Simple as
Well,
that.
where
I had to
did
travel.
you were in Pretoria? So South Africa didn't give you as much exposure as you wanted, did it?
It did, in terms of my general life, because obviously that's where I was trying to go to school. But in terms of
Right.
my me, I moved from point A to regional, was me having to go to Johannesburg and start going to
Mm-hmm.
functions where you'd see, the who's who. So I would literally
Mm-hmm.
apply for accreditation to go to certain functions. So every time there was a big concert, someone just told me, "Hey, you can actually apply for accreditation if you're international media." And then I started doing that, and that's where I met a lot of
Wow.
people, mixing with all these different people. So I then started getting a lot of calls from DSTV, because when I would go for correspondency, for these trips, sorry, that
Yeah.
I'd go do a lot of coverage, and then I'll send them a report and say, this is the things that I talked about on my radio show, and then send them clips and send them like the value of which I had given them with my coverage. And then from then I became a go-to person for the South African market. So what usually
Wow.
happens, a go-to person for the South African market, it's easier for everyone else, because the South African market is asked by the Nigerian market, by the West African market to do.
Ah,
They just do the recommendations of the people that they know, and that's how I
right.
started to just fit into these different places.
So you are a bona fide street smart girl, because a lot of people in Zimbabwe annoy us with the whole conversation. Hey, anagwaji, hey, chichi. In my head, I'm like, but une street gwaji, because
Yeah.
street gwaj brings you more big than you going sitting behind the desk and trying to be extra. Not that we're saying people shouldn't go to
I
school. School is
School is
very,
very important,
yeah,
yeah. I
but
think you need to.
street smart is
Right.
also like ridiculously important, because I see that you're street smart. That never occurred to me, and yet we were on the same station that had the same. We had the same exposure. Basically, we
Yeah,
had the same
yeah.
platforms, but there I was, in my Zimbabwean glory, not realizing I can break free and take over the
Yeah.
Southern Africa and Nigerian market. So you took over South Africa, and everybody is now Red is here, Red has gone there, Red is being seen on this and other red carpet. Okay, now that you're recommended to East Africa, were you recommended, or you found yourself in Ghana? What happened with you to get to Ghana?
So I always tell people that relationships are so important, and networking is
Right.
even more. If there's such a word.
Mhm. Yeah.
I was, for a long time, it was a really long time. I had a friendship with a guy called Bolare. So Bolare
Right.
is a media guy of Ghana, whereby he owns a lot of radio stations and a lot of television stations. So
Mm-hmm.
me being a lot of research on different people in West Africa, East Africa. In East Africa, there was a guy called Patrick. I don't know if you remember him, but Patrick, he owns like a lot of radio stations in Kenya. So I just kept in touch,
Okay.
and I'd ask so forth. So with Bolare, I did the same thing. I'd never met him, but I just went into his DM and I was like, yo, man, I'm really, like excited about what you're doing in Ghana. I'm from Zimbabwe. So, let's talk about this. Like, what are you guys doing? So basically from there we created a friendship, and then he's like, yo, you should actually come through the side, and that's basically how it came together. And then the next thing I'm getting,
That's it.
when are you coming? Yeah.
Red. I mean,
It's
exposure.
grace.
Good.
It's grace. a lot of grace and a lot of
No. Let's you know what, Grace supports brains. Let's I know sometimes grace just locates you and gives you, but you also have to avail yourself to be found by grace. Grace won't just say while you're sleeping and murmuring and complaining that you then say, Grace, I hope Grace doesn't, body, so then you realize Red Arkukura, you were growing and you were growing fast and fierce. When did you realize you needed a team around you to support the brand that was now doing covers? You were doing TV, radio, social media. You were doing pop-up events. You were showing up to endorse brands, big brands, not just Zimbabwean brands, but international brands and Maybelline. People don't even know you were pushing a proper big perfume. How did you then say
Givenchy International? A lot of people don't know.
Come on now, girl. God, drop them names. They need to know and give you some respect. They need to respect you. So, were you not afraid of salaries? I mean, that is one thing I'll be like, sheesh, if I need a staff, like, hi, I'm calling from MisRed staff. Is salary, Red, you've got a team. How is that going? Did you know? Could indicate a big support a team of 8?
No, I didn't. So the funny thing is, I've always had people around me who were fans of the brand before I even I built my team. So in the beginning, I started off with a guy called Kevels. He's actually like a big PR person now, and I'm so proud of him. He then went on to got a degree, and then now he's doing big things back home. And then I met this young lady by the name of Gillian Shava. I think she the turnaround of a lot of the MisRed brand and what I then went on to do, because she gave me like, girl, you can do this. And coming from another young woman younger than me who was like, I believe in your brand, you can do more. I think she helped kind of push me forward to being a little bit more intentional about a lot of the things. And then with Gillian, so it was me and Gillian for a long time, just the two of us. And came in a lady called Tanya Ngwena. And Tanya, she runs Southern Africa. So she does mainly music distribution. But Tanya was like a music manager as well for, I think, for Takura, for a couple of other people. And I tried to, I knew, because she had come from the UK and then she had lived in Nigeria. So she had a really great understanding of the entertainment business. So I needed someone who I knew understood the business from a business point of view, the business of entertainment, which a lot of people don't know. So then Tanya Shah, and it took me a year to convince her to take me on as one of her. Yeah, so I kept on having to like push, yo, I'm doing the work. No, Shah, just do something. I can't keep on doing this.
You were begging someone. Come on, Tanya.
Begging Tanya to take me on as a brand. And she's like, okay, I like your brand, so let's work. So from there, just went elsewhere, because now I was meeting, interesting brands. I was now talking to people like Fowls. I was talking to people like all these different artists from Nigeria now became my friends as an extension of her own label, which was not only in Southern Africa, but also was in Nigeria. So they had a lot of people that they were distributing who are really big. So when you are a part of that ecosystem, you now get linked to each other and you all become friends. So now in the ecosystem, we need interviews. So MisRed would be the first person that they think of in Zimbabwe to do those interviews. And yeah, so she was really the plug. And then we started putting ourselves in South Africa, Zambia, Kenya. We would be in a lot of the media there. And this was a lot of Tanya's doing. So from there, I think I grew to a point where Tanya was like, okay, fine. I think now you've grown, so you can now shift this thing and take it forward. So Tanya basically put the structures of what MisRed is now. So the team, the idea of a team really came from Tanya, whereby I have a brand manager, a personal manager, I have a graphics person that's on salary, I have a visuals person that's on salary, and then I have a personal assistant. So all those things were just
and then you've got casual people that you of course pay here and there. I know. I mean, I know your wage bill is quite big, and having worked at ZFM myself, ZFM doesn't pull that much money, so so you have to pull a lot of weight in all your other brands. But you know what? I salute that, Red. You being in the limelight, you have not backed away when media where we work has turned against you. And how have you, like, I know there's so many scandals that have been brought with your name, scandals, affairs, scandals, children. We are always bashed for being single moms, like they can go and hang. Scandals of closing, like there's so many things that some are true, some are false, some, make for good visibility. How have you handled that? And which one was the one that broke you the most, if at
I
all?
think I think most of the time I understand where we work, and I understand that we're in a country whereby a lot of the times we are judged as individuals without even being someone who's in the media. But worse off, if you're now in the media, people are just looking for someone to talk about. So I think because easy target, I don't talk back, or I don't come, blow, like I'm not a fighter. So a lot of people find it easy to come at me. So I've learned
They should try. Come at me. Hey!
that. But I'm very cognizant of the fact that my team is it needs me to be okay so that they can earn money.
Okay.
So I'm always thinking there's so many people who are behind me that people don't see, and if I mess up, a lot of things for them will be messed up. So I've learned to just keep my solace, my solitude when people are coming at me. But before I used to be like a fighter. I'd be like, bruh,
Like, bruh.
ready for now. It's not even worth it, because half the time I don't even know the people that come at me. And I had a situation whereby someone was like trolling me like the heck, and then I was like, no man, and then I went into their DM. I was like, go, what did you go? And then they're like, no, I was
Right.
just literally trying to get your attention, so can I talk about my nyaya? I'm like, what? You're trying to get my attention, so you're trolling me so that you can get my attention. And then I realized some people do it for likes, some people do it for to get your attention. Some people, it's just different things, and people are going through different things. So now after that, I was like, you know what? It's actually not worth it. So let me just leave these people. I don't know them. The ones who love me, who ride with me and understand me, they'll understand me. The ones that may not necessarily agree with my thought process or with my thinking, but also will be respectful enough to listen to what I have to say, but also respectfully disagree, will do so. So I have learned to just know that, it's okay. People are different, and I've accepted that now. So that's how I
It is
cope.
so true, because Red, those that my motto is you owe no one an explanation. Those that love you don't need it, and those that don't won't believe it. So no matter
That's
how
true.
hard you try and explain to them, they're always gonna find fault. But you have kept your head together, Red.
Yeah, they will misunderstand you.
Absolutely. So you're a mom of two girls, and how are you setting them up with travel and exposure, which is a big thing for me, that our children only become that which we expose them to. How are you doing with the mommy side, balancing celeb, love life, and being a parent, making money? I want to know about your relationship with your kids.
So my relationship with my kids is funny, because the other day I was going out. So my daughter's like, Mom, are you going out on a date? Because you look nice, you're wearing that dress. Who's the guy? And I'm trying to be like, I've tried to do anything, but also in terms of just exposing them to stuff, I don't post my kids. If you've noticed, I
I've
rarely
noticed, yeah.
post my kids, because I want to keep them separate. I want to make sure that
Uh-huh.
they know it's not, mom is mom, and then there's the work side of mom, which are two different things. So I try to a lot. I go on a lot of excursions that I don't get to post because I'm trying to protect them. But
Of
we
course.
travel. We go. Yeah, we actually came back from a holiday like 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah. So
Okay.
we
Okay.
the weekend away, Pamzinda. So I try to look for, if I can't do like a grand holiday, I'll always do at least something once every 2-3 months with them.
Oh, that's
So
good,
that's
because that
golf with
definitely,
my.
I mean, and they're
So
growing very quickly, and they're absolutely beautiful young ladies, and if anything, they become anything like you, they're going to take over the world. Red, I know, the reason why I'm kind of rushing this is because Red has mommy duties that she needs to take care of. But Red, how do you deal with fellow celebs. If at all anyone at your level, they should really tell the truth. They are not yet there. People who are,
Sorry,
I
you
mean,
have
they're fellow. No, I'm talking
eyes.
about I'm talking about the haters. You know, the ones you are shocked, like, watozonzwa kunzi soko ati. And of course, I mean, some people players, some people are absolutely players, because it's
Mm-hmm.
more scary when women of the same force are flowing in the same direction. They also sometimes players, and sometimes we fall into this play. But how have you handled relationships with other female celebs? And of course, that also, to keep that note. And then there are the young ones who are coming for us, and they're coming, they are
Yeah.
chasing our tail. How are you handling that?
So I'm so blessed in that the interactions that I've had with the other ladies who are already in media with us, limited as they may be, I think we have a mutual respect. A lot of the times, whenever undertones of, they feel like there's rivalry or whatever. But I genuinely believe that our market is so small, but at the same time, there's so many different opportunities for us to all shine and thrive. So
Right.
I tend to my own lane. That's the truth of the matter. I look at different women for inspiration. I love that. I love what they're doing. I love how Madam Boss is going here and just doing the damn thing. I love
You
how
right?
when I see Ruby in Rwanda with the president there, I'm like, that's my I love
Like
when
I
I
know her
see
personally.
her personally, and when I see Soko doing these amazing things at ZT, and I'm like, I love to celebrate others because I know that one day will come when I need to be celebrated. And if we don't do that for each other, what is the point at the end of the day? And,
Mm-hmm.
for my others who are younger than me, I actually have a lot of them that I say, come, let's go. And I hold their hand because I'm genuinely a believer of succession. I don't believe that we'll be in this position forever. So I always try leave a few notes for other girls. I've got two young girls who are doing phenomenally well that I personally work with, that I've been helping with their branding and just understanding what they want to do with their media career, who are already, they're established in media, but we're just trying to figure out how we can best move together and grow them. Even girls who are older than me, interestingly enough,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
also
yeah.
in the I do quite a lot of exchange. There's one lady, Rebecca Mchenje, official Miss
Right,
Becky.
right.
So Becky is the most amazing MC. Like she's just dripping
Oh
with
yeah.
amazing.
She's just a force,
Ah,
that one.
Becky, me, I'll do branding for you. You teach me how to be a better MC. So we have
Come on now.
exchanges as well. So I find that's a beautiful way to grow each other. So that's just me. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm not everybody in the industry, but I just do have a general respect for everyone, and I do celebrate when there's need to celebrate. At the same time, there's some people that I know genuinely just don't like me, and I've had situations whereby about me in groups, right? And then my guys will be like, but I have such a beautiful poker face. Eh? I will smile at you when I know that you're talking trash. I'll be like, hey, and I will kill you with kindness. When you expect me not to give you something, when you expect me not to help you in some way, I will help you simply because I want to show you that you're not better by pulling someone down. So
Right.
that's just the
Is
person.
so this, and I know I've got like 5 minutes left, but is this
Give you
how
10.
your love? Okay, great. Oh, so your
Yeah.
love for helping people, is that what gave birth to the Red Market Sunday? When you thought people's hustle needs to be put out there, is that why you started Red Market Sunday?
So I started Red Market Sunday because I okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You're the first person I'm telling the whole truth and the whole truth, and I will.
Because
So I was like, I keep on pushing myself. I'm cute. Okay, cool. Okay, I've got, nice body, whatever. Cool, whatever. But what else can I do a platform for other people? Because I can only post myself so much.
mm-hmm,
And then
mm-hmm,
how can I use the same platform that I have here to help the next person? And
right,
then we thought not really a new concept, but it's never been done in Zimbabwe. So I was like,
right,
how about people my platform for free? My team
right,
was like,
right.
yeah. Do you know how much they calculated for me? And they tweet how much we could be making from this. And they brought out numbers for me. But I was like, no, I just
Right.
want. It's literally a one day. It's half a day even. It's not even the whole day. It's on Twitter. It won't hurt us to just, and I think in a day, the last time we calculated, we give away over 50,000 worth of advertising every single Sunday. So, it's okay. I think God has been good to us because he has brought back that money in ways that I can never believe. But my team is better off for it. They run this thing like clockwork. These days, I'm not even touching that thing. I don't go to They've got a lot of things that are actually coming up for Red Market Sunday.
I hope there's an actual market. We demand an actual market. We want to go to a market and actually shop at a Red Market Sunday.
Yeah, don't worry. There's a lot in the boys. So the little that I have, I think it's important that I do share because that's where my blessings come from.
Absolutely, Red. You're actually very generous and you're a person who gives. And it says good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, especially if you give. And then a lot of people who are celebrities don't know this and usually hit a snag because they don't know how to give back to people. And, people didn't even know this is your giving back. Red Market Sunday. Go Old Mutual. Now tell me about Old Mutual and how is that going? Because I know it's right happening on DSTV. How did you end up on Old Mutual Voices?
Amazing voices. So I'm really excited about it because, I'm also really big on talent in Africa and finding, grow the industry. So Old Mutual excites me a lot because they're constantly looking for ways to just engage young people. And their main thrust, I think, for now is looking at entertainment and Amazing Voices is that very platform. So I started with them in season 1, but in season 1, what we're doing is we're doing auditions in Zimbabwe. So I was going around with them and just doing like the local interviews with some of the people that were auditioning, right? So they were. So season 2 comes now, and then they're like, "Yo, we want that girl, the one who was doing the interviews. We don't want her as a presenter anymore. We want her to be a selector because there's something about her."
Wow.
And
wow.
I'm getting Africa, and South Africa's like, "Yo, can we do this?" So it's been really exciting. I really do encourage everyone to actually watch Old Mutual Amazing Voices. It comes on Sundays, 5 p.m. So watch it. I think our part is done because what we had to do was select the Zimbabwean squad. So you can watch and just support the Zimbabwean squad until they are, through to the finals, hopefully.
And so of course, I'm down to 5 minutes. You're finishing my time. So what exclusively to Soko, and people spill their lives here. What are we expecting from Red? What is it that you can give me one thing? And I know your team can forgive me, they can love me and embrace me. The one thing that you'd be like, look out for this, so that when it comes out, they'll be like, oh, she said it on Soko's Instagram. Wait, what is that?
So what I can say is look out for May 9. May the 9th.
After your birthday. Your birthday is May 8.
But look out for May 9. And this is the first place that you're hearing it. That's all
May
I can
9!
say. Yeah, now, by the way, they're always around when I'm doing something. Yeah, they're looking at me, they're like...
No, they don't know that I have special forces that love. So, of course, they have to be looking at you funny. But Red, okay, we're looking for May 9. And then what's the future for Red? I know you want to be a media mogul. Which way are you going to start? And tell us how we're going to change Zimbabwe and the world.
I think the world is changing, and I've had to adapt as well in the world. So a lot of the things that I'm going to be doing moving forward are very unexpected.
Right.
Even my team were kind of like, is that the direction you're trying to? But I think I'm very legacy. So everything that I'm doing now is for my legacy, because I think in a few years' time, I need to,
hang our boots
slowly
here.
Boots and give other people a chance and work on other things. I think I also just grow from a business point of view. I don't want to just always be in front of the camera. I also want to be behind the camera. I want to create content.
Wait, we are ready for you. We're ready for you.
So, I can't do that and also be in front of the camera. I mean, you can do everything, but I think there's so many talented people, talented young people in Zimbabwe, and I can't be like the others. I'm going to give over a chance, guys. Nay, I think I swear it today.
My godfather to see
Let's be the generation which changes everything, because we can't continuously have the same conversation about young people, and yet we are not willing to just let go. So we must also get to a place where we can let go, but it only comes after you've set the road for you to be able to let go. So I'm working on my legacy so that I can let go sooner rather than later.
And please tell people how you made more money during COVID than before COVID, because they don't believe me. I was telling people Red made shitloads of money. Did I just swear? Yes, I did. She made shitloads of money during COVID. And tell them how you did it, because they don't believe me.
What people need to understand is that digital is the future. If you're not digital, if you're not having an online presence, I don't know what you're doing. However, I think digital was the breakthrough. I mean, my team was so happy with COVID. Like, we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? But a lot of opportunities were presented during the COVID period because of digital. So there's a lot of work that we did digitally. We did a lot of communication strategies. We did a lot of communications ourselves. So yeah, that's mainly where the money came from. And the funny thing is, the money didn't even come locally. So it was all outside money. So I was really excited about that, and just having conversations with people around COVID, around, you know, how the world is changing. All of that actually allowed us to have a lot of income during the COVID period, the COVID lockdown period.
Red, thank you so much. And I don't want my nieces to say Auntie Tendai took all our time. I want another interview. I demand one after May 9. I will find you and we'll have a conversation about it. But I am in awe. Please allow me. This is your Sando session. Red, you're a force. Ignore everybody else who is sitting on their laurels and thinking they're entitled to whatever else that life is not giving them. And I am proud of the woman you are. I'm proud of the barriers you've broken. I'm proud of the hands you've held. And I'm super proud of the lives that you are changing and have changed. I want a book from you. I demand I want so much from you. And even though I'm in you know why I've gone into my terraces, you know, my healing journey. But thank you, because I know you also don't take interviews. And I just called and you're like, okay, what do you want? Okay. And that, I love you. And I'm so proud of you.
Listen, that I needed to say about traveling. And I love that you wrote letters to your son, and you spoke to your son through this book. And I think everyone should go and get it. What I think is most important is that we expose ourselves. And sometimes exposure is not necessarily traveling, but just reading a book. You become so exposed. And I think everybody should get Soko's book, because it's another way of exposing yourself to what else is out there. I think not everyone is able to always, yeah. So not everyone is always able to have that big budget and, you know, to have money to travel or whatever. But read a lot of books. A lot of African literature is beautiful because it takes you through journeys around Africa. And also, it also broadens your horizon. You know, we're so stuck in the idea of Zimbabwe that we don't know what else is out there. And I think when you read more, you can begin to discover the world in a different, you know, way. And then we begin to save from there, save a little money, travel here, travel there. And, you know, go to Honde Valley. I went to Honde Valley in this country, and my mind just
I grew up there.
I did not believe that we have such a beautiful place there. And I started thinking of what else is out there, you know. So discover Zimbabwe first before you even think of going outside. And, you know, your world could be open. There's so many opportunities that we can find for ourselves. We need to speak louder as young people in Zimbabwe. We need to speak firmer. But more importantly, we need to support each other and love each other more than anything else, because we're broken. But I think a little bit of love will help us go a long way.
Absolutely. In the book, actually, it says, read, because your reading will take you where your passport will never take you to, because that's the only way. And I was telling my son to do that. And some of the time, I've never been to Europe, but I talk about London like I was in London from just reading. You know what I mean?
About it, we know about the London Tower,
Red. The day I stood, you know? The day I stood in Times Square, I was like, I know this place. No. I have been here before. My imagination brought me here, but of course I was overwhelmed by actually standing in the US and going through all that. But thank you, Samantha. I am, you have no idea. You inspire me. Every time I see you, I'm like, red. Like again, my guy. And, but you know, like when we walk paths, when paths meet, it's because paths are supposed to make each other more bold, and the footprints are supposed to stay so that, you know, we see them later. But may all those that stand on your shoulders become giants, and may they surely flourish. Send my love to your kids and keep reading. Oh yeah, she's also a big reader. She's like me. I'm looking, you know, like I've been looking at your bookshelf the whole time. I was like, book it on the I was like, do that book it. And yeah.
Actually, but yeah. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. And before I go, last cut after this, I want you to hold on to these words very, very closely, okay? I'm gonna say, then I'm gonna cut immediately, right? Be faithful to your happiness. Bye.
I love Red. She's something else. And if you were not inspired by that conversation, I hope you know Red better. You understand her better. Her hustle is true and she's solid. And of course, do look for me in my DM. If you want a book from me, you can get in touch with me directly, or you can go on Kindle, on Amazon, type Tendai Garwe, and you will find a book. You can get it there for $9.99, or you can get it directly from me for a good $10. But thank you so much, guys, and come again next week. I talk to phenomenal people only. They allow me into their space, and I think you should too. So do follow me, do like, do comment, and of course, also give me feedback. Thank you so much. This is the book, in case you're looking for it. It's called A Letter to My Son. I wrote it while I was in hospital. I was in a road traffic accident and was in hospital for a whole year. And in that year, I wrote my son lessons that I thought I hadn't told him in case I had died. So thank you so much. And yes, be faithful to your happiness. And of course, you owe no one an explanation, because those that love you don't need it. And those that don't won't believe it. Until next week, I want you to have a very, very good evening. Thank you, guys. And goodbye.